In a previous video of ours that you totally should watch if you haven't already, we have discussed what would be the perfect way to fix the Johto games by improving the fights, level curves, making the story more linear, and so on. Of course, we did make the gym fights noticeably better than they once were, but deep in the back of our gamer minds we were like, there surely can be something better to be done about the Johto fights. So this time around, we decided to go above and beyond and actually make the Johto gyms good. Also, this time around, we will not respect the vanilla gym order, meaning we can order the gyms however we choose to. We'll assume that the stories change to fit our new and improved gym order. So without any further ado, let's make some Johto gyms, shall we? Gym Leader 1, Bugsy. The Gen 2 bug type tend to have this tendency of either being incredibly good or absolute garbage. We definitely considered putting Bugsy in one of the later gyms, but then we realized there existed only one bug type TM in the entire game, Fury Cutter, which is a notoriously bad move that can only somewhat be usable in the early game. So we took a page from the Kalos book and put the bug type gym leader first. Here is the Bugsy team. Boom Pineco has the distinct tactical advantage of being very funny and will troll an unassuming player into losing a Pokemon. However, unless you're playing a Nuzlocke, this Pokemon is not that bad and will at most trade 1-for-1 with the player. And there are multiple counterplays to Explosion you get, such as Rock types, Ghost, or just killing the round bug before it booms. Beedrill is a decently strong bug type that can use Fury Cutter somewhat effectively, and we definitely would have loved to put Ariados here instead, but Ariados does not learn Fury Cutter for some reason. Gym Leader 2, Morty. Gen 2 Morty is incredibly hard to make something decent out of thanks to the only ghost types in the game being the Ghastly, Line, and Mischievous, which the vanilla Morty does not even use. Also, Shadow Ball, in our opinion, would be too harsh for this point of the game. Here's what we did instead. This team uses TM3 Curse together with Mischievous, who has some definitely respectable stats. Curse plus Mean Look plus Hypnosis on Ghastly can hopefully sometimes be annoying to casual players, and Mischievous with a respectably strong Psybeam and the aforementioned Curse is a threat to unprepared players. Gym 3, Falkner. Out of all the Johto gym leaders, Falkner is definitely the most interesting one, as Johto offers a lot of cool and diverse flying-type Pokemon. We decided to put him here to accommodate other gym leaders' placements. Our first instinct was to give him an Ace Crobat, but Koga already does that in the Elite Four, so here's what we went with instead. Natu is a decent special attacking unevolved Pokemon, which makes it an okay lead for this gym. Murkrow is deceptively strong, so we made sure not to give it any strong moves because it would be an absolute nightmare. You might think that Ace Skarmory is too strong for this point in the game, as Skarmory is one of the best Pokemon in Gen 2, but Stallmons are hard to use for the AI that does not switch its Pokemon around. This Skarm should never be this much of a threat, especially compared to Whitney's Miltank that the player usually faces here. Most special attacking types are good counterplay to Skarmory. Also, we chose this guy because it's a great user of Steel Wing, this gym's TM. And in case you were asking why we did not pick an actual flying type TM instead, well, that TM does not exist, it's fictional. Steel Wing was the closest thing to a flying themed TM we could have found, and it definitely makes more sense than Mud Slap. Also, this team provides the player with great targets for all elemental punches, which he conveniently finds in Goldenrod. Gym 4, Whitney. Whitney is arguably the most iconic gym fight in Gen 2 thanks to her absurdly strong Miltank. How we decide to nerf her is not necessarily by changing her team to be worse, but simply by putting her later, which given our raised level curve should give the player a lot of better Pokemon to deal with her. Here is our slightly modified Whitney team. The Clefairy is very slightly improved with Attract over the usually worse Mimic. Miltank is the exact same one she uses in the vanilla game, and that is her claim to fame. Girafarig has been added to make her team better, as it comes later in the game and helps her to be more resilient to fighting types. We also could have gone with Togetic, with Attract, Metronome, Headbutt, and Sweet Kiss, which is definitely a more offbeat Pokemon, but is more thematically fitting, given that Whitney's character is all about being cute and charming. Gym 5, Chuck. Before we talk about Chuck's team, can we all agree that Dynamic Punch is a stupid Pokemon move? The Chuck fight in vanilla Johto is prone to ridiculous amounts of RNG swings and can either be won effortlessly or result in total carnage. Here's what we think is a better Chuck fight. Primeape is the same set Chuck uses in vanilla, not total garbage yet, not very high value overall. Hitmontop is here because it is a Johto Pokemon, and Heracross is the ace of the team by virtue of being very strong and having the ability to use Detect, which is the new Gym TM, with the leftovers item. This Heracross will be decently annoying to deal with, despite not being given the powerful Mega Horn thanks to its high attack and very respectable defenses. It also has Thief, so this team doesn't get 6-0'd by the weakest Ghost type. Overall, this Chuck should not only be harder on average, but significantly more fun to deal with than the normal one. Gym 6, Jasmine. This one is kind of the opposite of Whitney, as given the fact she's the 7th gym in vanilla if we go by level order, her team is pretty underwhelming and easy to deal with. So we demoted her to 6th gym and gave her a slight boost. Magnemite is similar to what Jasmine uses in vanilla and is the only unevolved steel type in the game. Steelix is the same as her original ace, but now it has Dig over Screech, which gives it way better coverage. We thought Earthquake might be too overwhelming, but we definitely considered it. Scizor is a nice addition to the team, being a Pokemon that is both scary to face while still not too overwhelming given that the player can just use fire moves. Gym 7, Price. In the 7th gym, Price will have the room to have a very strong team. Ice types have somewhat of a bad reputation, but Ice is a very decent offensive type, so there might be something to work with here. Seal is a weaker lead that is inspired by the vanilla Price. The rest of the team is meant to be very offensive and scary, with Sneasel having decent coverage despite not being very strong. Jinx being an absolute threat, and Swine actually having a ground move to use, though it comes in exchange for Blizzard. This team is not to be messed with and will claim lives, actually giving the player a challenge in the process. Gym 8, Claire. Last but not least, we have the Dragon Girl herself, Claire, which rocks the following team. This team is, well, the exact same team Claire uses in the vanilla games. We think this team is pretty decent. The Dragonairs having a lot of coverage and needing specific preparation to be easy to beat. The Kingdra is always very scary and does not have any weaknesses as far as the player is concerned. As far as we hate some of the Johto fights, this one in particular is actually based and does not warrant a fix. And just like that, we fixed every single gym in Johto. These gyms provide a way better difficulty progression and use of the various Pokemon and moves Johto has to offer, albeit we often found we had very little to work with to make interesting gym team compositions in this gen. Feel free to tell us in the comments what would you do if you were in charge of what the Johto gym should be. Check out these videos where we fix the whole game, and as always, like the video and leave a subscription. See ya in the next one.